So, welcome to Maine, the place where life is as it should be. Or at least that's what we say on our tourist sign when you first enter. But it turns out, at least in the world of fish, that's not exactly true. But let me read something to you. This is from our Fish and Game Commissioner. It's in the 2014 fishing booklet. And Chandler Woodcock says, "Welcome to one of the finest fishing experiences you'll ever likely to have. From Sebago Lake to Grand Lake Stream, from Rangeley to the Allagash, welcome to the vast state of Maine and all of its angling resources." Well, that sounds kind of nice. We are fairly vast, given that we're quite wildernessy, most forested state in the nation, and way up here in the northeast corner. But 2 or 3 pages from the back, it says, "Warning about eating freshwater fish." Turns out that pregnant and nursing women, and women who may get pregnant, and children under the age of 8 should not eat any freshwater fish from Maine's inland waters. Well, why is that? Turns out we have a large mercury pollution problem. And that mercury primarily comes from Midwestern coal plants who send it far up their smokestacks, and it gets mixed in at the high stratus atmospheres with rain, and that rain comes down and lands in Maine, gets involved in our ecosystems, and ends up in our fish. So we're being polluted by sources that are well outside of our state boundaries so badly that we can't even eat our fish here in Maine. Now, maybe for some of you that's okay, but for me living here that just seems criminal. That seems like a line in the sand that should never have been crossed. And you say, well, what's the answer to that? Well, today if you put in a coal-fired power plant in the US, it's going to cost you about 10 to 14 cents a kilowatt hour. They just put in a 500 megawatt solar plant down in New Mexico, and that's selling power at a profit for 5.8 cents a kilowatt hour, with zero pollution. No air pollution, no water pollution, no black lung disease, no mining deaths, no drinking water like they just lost in West Virginia. 300,000 people lost their drinking water. None of that happens with solar power. I think that's pretty good news. Now, we could talk about wind power, we could talk about geothermal. There are a whole bunch of revolutionary green ways of generating power that don't have virtually any side effects. Coal's got a whole ton of them. Which should we choose?